Welcome to part 2 of 4 high-risk situations that every motorcyclist encounters. If you want to see part 1, it was last week, it was last Monday. I'll have a link in the description for that. But let's go ahead and jump into this because these are things that I want you to start practicing and visualizing and finding out so you can be a safer rider. If you guys want to hang out with me and a bunch of other DDFM crew members, 1,600 plus members, we're on Discord. I got this nice sweater because I'm Discord partner verified. So this is a very good policy-driven server. Check it out. All right, so the first one we're going to be talking about is inclement weather riding. So riding in the rain, heat, snow, and anything will cause you to have lower visibility, cognitive decline, and lower traction. It is a hazardous situation for the motorcyclist. One way to increase your confidence while riding in this weather is to trust your tires. You must have confidence that your tires will grip the road. For example, when riding in the rain, your braking, turning, and acceleration needs to be done smoothly so that you can have adequate traction. Remember, gentle inputs allow your weight to shift gradually so traction is maintained. With inclement weather, remember your visibility has been lowered. With that knowledge, know that other drivers' visibility and traction are lower too. You need to take extra precaution around other roadway users. We talked about roadway users in part 1. You might want to check that out. The increased mental fatigue can affect everything you do. For example, hot weather riding coupled with dehydration will decrease your brain function, and that could lead to a crash. I talked about that in hot weather riding and some tips about how to do that. For me, the best thing I could do was, especially when I was in the fire service, was drink lots of water. Your body can actually thermoregulate a lot better in the cold, in the heat, in the humidity if you are fully hydrated. Drink some water, guys. I just went on a group ride yesterday, and it was the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, so thank you everybody that supported me for men's mental health and prostate cancer research. But group riding presents its own hazards. Group riding tends to bring out the ego and peer pressure in other motorcyclists. I've talked about this many times in my previous close call and crash videos, so if you want to check out some of those videos, I have a link to a playlist in the description, and we're going to go over all these crashes and close calls in depth so you know exactly what happened. My solution to this was to avoid riding in groups. Now I know that isn't the best option for everyone else. So how do we fix that? First, you can pick better riding buddies, or you can ride in the back of a typical group. That way you will separate yourself from anybody that is an aggressive rider when they're up front. So another problem with riding in a group is a lack of movement. So if you're riding, side by side, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, you're going to have issues if somebody grabs too much front brake, crashes, they're going to hit the people behind them because the people behind them can't swerve out of the way. So what you do is ride staggered. That's how we get rid of a lot of those problems. The person right in front of the staggered person is going to be 4 seconds. Off diagonally to them is going to be at 2 seconds. This way you can swerve out and around if something happens. If you notice anybody's just trying to stunt or act like an idiot, just remove yourself from that situation. Ride again a different day. Night riding is a pretty scary thing to do, and it's something I didn't like to do until I upgraded my headlight. Since we have limited visibility, we need to compensate for that lack of visual distance. This usually means many hazards appear suddenly, such as animals and vehicles without their lights on. Keeping a clear visor or eye protection clean will help you see better at night. So light scratches on your shield is going to cause some problems. You're going to see some lights over here to the side, and it's going to really reflect weird. It's going to be right in your visual acuity and everything up front. So what you need to do is make sure you have an appropriate visor, and if it's too damaged, just replace it. This is something that happens quite a bit in other countries, not so much in the United States other than California and Utah right now. Lane filtering, lane splitting can present its own hazards as well as its own pros. So anytime you do pass, it is risky behavior. If it is an open road with no traffic and pleasant weather, well, then the risk is low. Passing an area we have no sight and many intersections with other drivers can be on the higher end of risky. Remember, cars can suddenly pop out of driveways, intersections, or the other lane. I have a great video on that, and it will be the video that pops up at the very end of this video as an end card. Choosing to pass when you're not 100% sure you can do it safely will cause panic and anxiety. If an emergency or hazardous situation shows up during this heightened panic emotion, you will not make the correct maneuver. The last thing you want to do is make a decision in an emergency. Your training will kick in. You don't want to be thinking, you just want to do. When you do decide to pass, make sure to use your bike's power to accelerate around the vehicle quickly. We're on a fast and powerful vehicle compared to most of the other cars on the road. So let's pass. Let's pass, pass, pass. Don't lollygag in oncoming traffic. Before your next ride, guys, did you check your gear? Did you check to make sure that your tires on your bike are actually doing really well? Good tread depth, everything. Check your visors. Check if you have the appropriate gear for the season. Let's do that before we go on our next ride. I'm telling you guys that because I want you to actually check it, okay? So that is your homework for this week. But with that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and check out all these other videos. Remember, I talked about the lane splitting and the lane filtering. They got the video right there. and they also have the playlist of all the crash stuff right over there. So with that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you later.